Okay, so we got sound and chart now. Let me just make sure that we are on the same page. Okay, it says I'm live. Okay, so it seems to be working now. Go ahead and get this. Okay, so I guess it seems to be working now. So let's get this started. We'll make this relatively quick, as I don't see a whole lot of altcoin potential right now. I'd like to see a little bit more consolidation in Bitcoin, so we're not going to look at too many alts, maybe just a general overall picture for some hopes and dreams. Maybe we can salvage some of our losses. All right, so first off, let's look at where we're at, where we ended the month last month. So August was still a really solid month. Did almost $38,000 last month alone. Starting the month with $16,000. So as we saw, July was a horrible month from the last update. A net profit, or a net loss rather, of $1,000. So July absolutely sucked. August absolutely rocked. And I should have taken off, because if you guys remember, I had noted many times in chat that the first week or two of September was going to be bad. September is naturally always just a bad month for crypto, and I should have taken my profit and just gone to Tether and sat on the sidelines. So good month for August, great profits. Altcoins were just phenomenal, just knocking down some really great profits. So it was a good month. And then of course we're starting this month off absolutely terrible. Let me fix that to currency. Okay, so we're starting the month off with minus $11,000. So we took a 21% hit overall on our total portfolio. So we started the month with 53, because there we are. We ended August with $53,000 balance, so we copy that over to the starting balance in September, and then overall we're still up really good at 8,200%. ONT definitely bit it hard, so I logged in my losses there, and we're on the verge of taking another hit. Ion is about to hopefully either hold or die. So let's go to CoinDCX. Okay, so this is what I got in DCX right now. So we're just shy of $28,000 portfolio in DCX. Right before the hurricane, I took $4,000 out into my bank account. So I paid myself because I was going to redo my hardwood floors, but ended up needing that money, or using that money instead, for generators and gas and supplies and shit to recover from the hurricane. Okay, so that would put us about 32,000, because remember, we're supposed to be somewhere close to $42,000 on the current balance. So that puts us about 32,000. There's 4,000 in VRA, so that's about 36,000. And then I got 3,600 here on Bing Bong, so that's probably what, like 39, almost $40,000. And then of course the drop in Bitcoin itself. So we took about a $2,500 loss, or hit here, or drop rather, on Bitcoin. So I think the balance was let's see, at 53, maybe 4.5 Bitcoin. So taking the Bitcoin drop was probably another $3,000 to $4,000. So that adds up. That's about right there. So starting off the month horribly bad, and again, my other positions like Ion is on the verge of wrecking me for about another $16,000. So I would almost essentially wipe out 80% of the profit that I made in August if Ion doesn't bounce. So I've added some margin and I've lowered my stop loss. And I'm really just kind of praying right now. So big losses I'm sitting in right now, and I need like a 35% pop just to break even. And then KND I added right before the hurricane here at 680. Now we're at 604. So it's not looking too bad from a chart perspective. KMD is actually looking pretty good. So it's not too terrible. And I only need about 13% pop there to break even on KMD. So we'll get to that in a second. So let's look at Buttcoin. All right, nasty fall. And I think somewhere in the Bitcoin calls, let me see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. All right, so if we go to the Bitcoin calls here. All right, right here it was noted if bulls can't claim and break 12K, then we fall. So this was the first of the month. So that was a key level right there for the bulls, was 12K. And you only see some wicks right here just above 12K. Looks like $12,050. So it did not close, only wicks. That's not a good enough call there to consider that a bullish momentum. We didn't break any of the range highs, and we failed to hold 12,000, and we ended up falling. Obviously, just significantly quicker and harder than we had thought and expected. But I mean, that's the way it goes. Okay, so now we're looking at a pretty key level right here. So I don't think we filled the CME gap. I think it was between 96 and 9,800 that everybody was talking about, and I think this was the top of that gap, so we didn't quite fill it. So this is why I'm a little bit hesitant to say that we reverse here, because they tried really hard to drop this. However, just looking at it from a chart perspective, we did at least flip. Currently are flipping the previous highs now as support. So that's a pretty good sign, at least temporarily. So we got some relief coming on our MACD and RSI here on the 6 hour, although I don't think that we're quite ready to catch a nice little pop yet. I think we're still going to kind of wiggle down maybe to 10.1 or so, maybe just shy of that, and then we'll catch a nice little relief bounce over the next few days. So something that I wanted to look at and discuss, let's see where, so this is almost an exact similar drop here. Okay, so let's look back to the February-March death drop. So when we wicked all the way down to that 3K level and almost went to zero had they not turned the exchanges off. So this is a very similar structure. Again, we did not reclaim any highs. We got that nice deep pullback, found a nice base support right there. Flipped it, got a relief bounce, but then did not reclaim any broken supports up here. So this is almost a similar feel right here. So we see this is our drop, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. So this almost feels like a very similar drop right here. So if this is going to mirror itself, we should only see about 10.8, maybe up to a wick of maybe 11,000. I mean, that I'd only consider a wick, but I'd be looking around 10.8, 10.9 maybe for a relief, and then we're going to see whether if this is actually going to bounce or we're going to fall again. So I want to base that now off of the weekly chart. So here we are, we're on this new weekly candle. Look at our 7-day moving average. It is starting to roll. Okay, so we should technically hold under that 7-day moving average now as resistance, as we have a candle that is now significantly below it. So 11.2 should technically somewhere be a high. So we see we might hopefully catch 2 weeks of relief bounces like these two candles here, or we may not. I'm going to play just some actual resistance zones, resistance pockets. Look at the MACD here on the weekly. Weak, so weak. Okay, it's almost mirroring what we got going on over here. So the MACD histogram is about to go under, the MACD is about to cross under, and this is going to be bad. So again, this might give us 1 to 2 weeks to kind of finish rounding that out, and then we could continue that drop. So if that does happen, okay, so if we are going to make yet again another higher low, that's going to put us right down here to retest that wick right there. That'd be a good place to catch this bounce. Right off the bottom of those wicks, which happen to come across the tops of this confluence zone here. And that also magically beautifully touches that trend line there at $6,400. Now that's kind of scary. I know we could simply just do a similar structure again, exactly like this. So if this were to mirror, then again we would kind of just float up until that election time, as we've noted, before that death drop. However, I'm not going to count on it. So again, let's look at some other time frames. 5-day, we're already under bear. Sorry, bulls, this doesn't look pretty. Not at all. All the macro levels look like pure shit right now. Look like pure crap. Jesus. Okay, so that's how we're going to play that. Alright, so if we flop back to this Binance chart, because I was using... So I didn't mess up my other chart. I went to Bitstamp here for longer chart history and whatnot. I guess we can even look at the monthly while we're here. Look at the monthly. Look at that monthly. Just, I mean, you can even consider this a bearish divergence on the monthly. Okay, so we got a high, not including the wicks. If we even went just to the candle bodies, we got a high and then a higher high on the candle bodies, and then an exaggerated bearish divergence on the MACD, as it did not make a new high, and a lower high, even though very slightly, a slightly lower high on the RSI. So that would, I guess, technically kind of fit into this scenario that we're going to make another drop. So that's what I'm looking at on a macro level, and near term on for the next week or so. Maybe I'm going to look at that 10.8, maybe 11.2 as noted for a wick to retest this broken support wicks here. So keep us under that 7-day moving average on the weekly. So this could chop. So we could catch about a week or two to chop before the next drop, as this last drop here from March, from where we found that base support, gave us about 9 days of relief before the next death dive. So that's why I mentioned in chat, if this is going to mirror that drop, we're going to get 8 to 10 days or so of some choppiness or whatever before we dive again. Because as it looks right now on practically every macro level, that drop just kind of almost sapped the entire market. I know all the bulls, all the big players were talking about, 14K, 14K. We couldn't even break 12 in, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. I mean, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, about 6 weeks we couldn't close $12,000 on a candle. These damn bulls, man. Some of these big players these big Twitter accounts just kill me. Okay. ETH is really going to kind of follow suit here. Same scenario for ETH. 7-day has not fully rounded over, so we'll catch a relief bounce likely on this weekly candle. MACD lines look like they're rolling over and about ready to drop as well. I had higher hopes for ETH. I thought this was surely going to outperform Bitcoin, but this ended up, I mean, what a nasty drop. Jesus, 37%. Murdered Ethereum there. So let's go to Bitstamp for more chart history, which doesn't show much more than Binance. Same damn chart. Okay. Alright, so that's what our weekly looks like. Our 5-day, we're definitely going under on the 5-day. That's got a pretty good little roll right there. So if this rolls any further after a relief bounce and does not reclaim well into the 400s, I'm going to go ahead and say if it doesn't claim 430. Okay, so we'll catch a little relief bounce and then we'll death dive again down to test the 230s and see if we can't flip the support down here. Somewhere in this range. That's a big range. So again, this would make another higher low right here or something. There we go. So this would put us around this time next year for Ethereum to maybe, I mean, it depends on how much, if there's any more stupid crap going on, how much this is going to kill the market. So we'll come down and test the support. If it's just going to make another higher low and even respect this trend line, it may not. It may come down and at least test the support and then rocket up. But from the looks of that MACD, it is going to go on a reset, so you can see how long it took right there. So it may do almost something quite identical to this, which would kind of fit this scenario right here. So this took, let's see, how long? About 175 days, so about 6 months or so. So yeah, I mean, that kind of fits that timeline there for Ethereum. Alright, so we did at least find a new short-term base support off of a minor support. But, I mean, that is what it is. Looks like we're going to catch that relief bounce. However, I don't think we're done dipping yet. Looks like price is still under the 7-day as resistance. So maybe come down and kind of retest that 325, 330 area. And then we're catching that bounce before rolling over. Okay, so remember the rules of price action, guys. A support is until broken, and a resistance is resistance until broken. So look at these wicks here, all of these wicks and candle bodies kind of making this nice new support. So now that we have broken through it, it is now going to be our resistance. So now we're going to look at a resistance high of right at $400 off the tops of all of those candles there, and these wick supports here, and this double candle little base top right here. So this is now going to be our resistance to break. And in order for us to consider bullish momentum again, we have to reclaim $400. Otherwise, this is now going to be a resistance point for our bounce anywhere in this range between 380 and 400. And we're going to roll over again. Again, that is based on from these higher time frames. So we'll catch a relief bounce and then roll. Because I mean, look at the MACD on 4-day. It's going to cross bear. It's going under. So it was a good run, good run for ETH. See, from the lows of $100 to almost 400% since March. So it did almost 400% in 5 months or so. But I have a feeling that this is over. That MACD is going under there. Okay, so that's what I see for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. This does not really spell a whole lot of good news for alts. I'm hoping we get some scam pumps, maybe last round of pumps or something during this time of relief bounces over the next 2 weeks or so, and then just probably kill the market. Okay, so let's look at BNB. BNB is kind of high on the list of shield coins right now. Binance is or CZ or whatever is pointing out a lot of bullish crap about yield farming and using the BNB coin, blah, blah, blah. It's all a scam, whatever. So he's really just trying to save his own coin here. Massive pump there, though. That was a really big bounce. 25% on announcing BNB, going into DeFi and these little yield farming crap coins. So it did hit a good base support here at $18. I think this was one of the targets that we had talked about in chat with a low target, and I think I said I'd be a heavy buyer down here around 12 or 13 bucks. It doesn't look like I may get that. Looks like CZ is really trying hard to pump this. But again, resistance is resistance until broken. So I'm not going to get excited for anything Binance Bucky until there's like a clear break over about $24. Because you can see all of these wick rejections here matching these wick rejections here. And you got this low wick here as support. So that's about that $24 range. So I'm not going to FOMO into that until there's a clean break over that range. And then maybe CZ will pump it up here to like $30, $31 or so. Other than that, I'm not getting excited on BNB. Low time frame, though, I mean, yeah, it looks like it's got the strength. But again, look where it's rejecting. See that wick on that drop candle that's forming right there? Again, that drop candle is forming right here at the top of this resistance. So that's why we don't FOMO and we don't long into resistance. So we wait for a break of the resistance and then buy the retest. And then there's the hourly backing that up. So that actually looks like a pretty good short-term short, at least. Because, I mean, MACD rolled over, 7-day moving average is rolling over. You can maybe at least short it down to about $2,100 off of that set point from that wick right there. Just a quick little scalp, maybe. Okay, so BNB, again, definitely a lot of hype around it right now. And sushi, for whatever reason, sushi is on hype. So let's talk about sushi. It is a wonderfully delicious meal. It's obviously got packed in protein. You know, fish is a good protein source. It's also high in zinc and magnesium, which is also good for the immune system in the body. And you get some nice carbs from the wonderful, delicious rice. And then a nice wrap in some seaweed, if you're into the seaweed crap or whatever. It is a delicious, tasty, wonderful meal. However, as far as it goes for a coin, fuck it. This is garbage. And that's all I got to say about sushi. Okay, so let's go back to Komodo here, KMD. Okay, so KMD is one of the coins that did not pump at all. So again, and I think they had something DeFi related or whatever. So very nice revisit of the low support there near the bottom there. Pretty good, strong looking 8-hour chart. But again, I don't think this daily is quite ready yet. Looks like it's trying. So within the next 2 weeks, it could do, that little bounce there and then hopefully catch a pump. It's coiling up, and I'm hoping it doesn't pull an RVN and never just break out of this cycle. I'm hoping that's not the case. However, they did release some bullish DeFi news or something recently or whatever on their platform. MACD and RSI support a potential trend reversal here. You can see that same kind of structure right there on the MACD. So I think it's still going to consolidate in this range a little bit more. And then hopefully break that. So I got sales. I'm hoping that it gets like a scam pump or something up here to, you know, the top around, maybe not that high, maybe 1200. At least test this resistance up here. So I got sales already set. So I'm hoping it just pumps. But again, 930, I think I also mentioned it in chat, is going to be a resistance point to look at to break as well. From that wick, and those wicks, and the bottom there. And I'll still take that too. I'll still take 930. So with Bitcoin looking like garbage like it does, I may see how it reacts at 930 if it even gets there. If it doesn't pull an RVN and show us all kinds of promises and then just makes a new low. But if it pumps to 930, I'll take that and consider cutting profit there. Because that's still, you know, 35% gain from my entry around here at 680 or so. I'm not going to argue that because I think my, what is that worth? So that's a 1.6 bag. Let's see what 35% of 1.6 is. Is just almost half, or a little bit more than half of Bitcoin. Okay, so it won't be an ideal profit, but with Bitcoin being at 10.2, 0.6 is going to be, you know, roughly about $6,200–$6,300 profit. I'll take that because it'll at least make up half of my loss on ONT there. So I can be happy with that. I'll live with that. But a good solid pump up to 1200. I got sales set somewhere just shy of 1200 somewhere, I think. That's a good 77% pop. I'm not going to bank on that or count on that unless there's some kind of significant pump to justify it. I'm going to play that 930 resistance first. So I'd much rather have that 77% pump and at least close out a solid 1 Bitcoin profit. Okay, and then there's Ion, the other one that I am deathly afraid of getting wrecked on. And I just noticed this when I was pointing up or pulling up the stream here. So our MACD is making a higher low and respecting that trend line, and so did our price. So here is the lows. Here is July's lows, and with just one little wick below there, we made another higher low on that trend line. So I am banking and praying to the alt gods, chop around here for another week or two, and hopefully break that 1400 resistance and catch another pop up there where I got sales kind of scattered here between 17 and 1800. If not, whatever, if it at least retests 1400, I'll take that because it's better than sitting in these massive ass losses that I'm in right now from my entries around here at 1260. So I need about a 34–35% pop on Ion just to break even. You know what? That's why your name is Drunken Tiger, because you're drunk. Go home. So, yeah. What was the other one? Dot. Everybody was all hyped about Dot, talking about Dot was going to make a new high and all that stuff. I mean, not a lot of chart history there. So everybody was all raving about Dot up here at $6, talking about some like redistribute, or I'm sorry, a reaccumulation pattern, and this was gonna just, you know, bounce up there. I was like, man, y'all got wrecked. Everybody that shilled that just took a 42% wreckage And this was after Bitcoin dumped. I mean, there were still big accounts reloading right here at $6. I don't know what happened in the last day, but I mean, the writing was on the wall with that one there. Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. So, I mean, I'm very, very cautious right now on picking up new altcoins. That's why I'm not in any kind of rush. I think ICX may have found a good base support. So it revisited that lows. I mean, look where ICX hit. Remember we were all panicking right here that, you know, we had to exit ICX before it turned and pumped like 80%. So it revisited and did not break that support. MACD showing a little bit of signs there. So again, it's another one that may find some support and then maybe bounce up and then, I don't know, make another low. Very, very cautious though, because that weekly looks like garbage now. Weekly kind of looks like trash. So, I mean, it may... So, if you're looking for some scalps, try to make up some profit, yeah, you might catch some. SXP on the USD. Let's go to Qcoin. This couldn't have been any more perfect. Jesus. So, I think this was a request somewhere around here. Noted. Catch a bounce up to 320, and then it's going to snake its way down to 150. This was absolutely perfectly dead on. I mean, you couldn't have asked for anything better. So again, a support is support until broken. So this was a pretty heavy base support right here off of the lows. Otherwise, if it broke this support, I mean, yeah, it's going to go back down to the 80s where I think we would all love to scoop some up. But nice base support here. Flipped all of that. So if SPX is going to hold here, or SXP, sorry, this isn't S&P 500. Yeah. Okay, so again, this is a resistance off that wick, top of that. So you can scalp it to 220, maybe catch the pullback, and then make a higher low, if this is going to make a higher low, here at about 180, 190, and then that's all she wrote. I mean, that's how this game is going to work. So here, a low, a retest of broken support, and then a pullback. And then if this is going to play out that way. What we all want to see, though, is we want to see, so if it comes and does that, we want to buy it down here at 80. Now, I don't think that they were exit pumps. I still, of course, I think we all agree that there's still way too many altcoins, shit projects that still need to die. Binance did delist INS, which a lot of people had some pretty high hopes on it as far as a project. I mean, I thought it was an okay project, but yeah. Sorry, Sushi. We got to get rid of you. All right, so we need to look at some more charts. And I don't know what's going on with Binance. They are listing new projects left and right that nobody's even heard of. So I'm very cautious on playing some of these new coins because some of those could be pump and dumps. Yeah, I'll take 80 cents on SXP too. Now that I know that they're actually in my state and got a lot of approval here in the States, that's a pretty bullish sign for me as well, and I may actually get one of the cards. So NKN, good support, decent anyways. Where it fell here, it did not revisit the lows. It held a higher low off the base lows there. MACD curling up, good little pop there on the RSI to build a little support base. Again, this is what we're going to see. So just plot out, if you're looking for scalps in the near term, plot out where your resistances are. So NKN could test a high of 240 right off the tops of that candle, those wicks, that wick, that wicks, that wicks, and this confluence zone. So these all match up, and you're going to see this across the board for alt bounces. So I would play these zones first because Bitcoin looks entirely way too rocky. So we're going to look for support consolidations, bounces, sell the bounce, and then rebuy the retest, basically. So for whoever requested NKN, we wouldn't consider any targets here until at least this resistance is reclaimed as support. And you're going to see this across the board, even for, like I just showed on SXP. So now that we're building a new base here, scalp up to the resistance and then buy the pullback. So same for NKN. Do we have another one up? Nope, maybe not. So scalps, guys, look for scalps right now until Bitcoin shows a reclaim of at least 12.5 or so, or 12.3. Let's call it 12.3 to 12.5. If Bitcoin can at least reclaim up here somewhere, I'd have a little bit more confidence that we could see a continuation. So if we come up here, maybe, I don't know, catch that pullback, maybe another higher low, and then reclaim this. This could prove bullish in that case. Otherwise, I'm considering that as a resistance because it's a resistance. Now, so across the board on altcoins, okay, so all of them right now are either reaching back all the way to support zones just above all-time lows, or like I just showed on ICX. We'll go back to ICX. Okay, so it's revisiting a heavy support there. Algo, I think, did the same thing. Okay, Algo, look at the support that it revisited. Well, this was almost right. This is damn close. Okay, so look at Algo. So we got tops of those candles there, tops of that candles there, and it just all the way across. Here's a bottom candle support there, another small candle support structure there, and look how beautifully and magically we are now building a new support base for Algo there. So again, I'm just showing you guys an example of what to expect. So okay, a little bit more consolidation. Okay, and then now we just look for scalp resistance targets. Okay, so they're at 420.30, right there off the tops of that, and matches that wick. Might even in that zone right there to 425. Okay, so again, you can see these across the board for nearly everything. So these are going to catch 20-25% bounces across the board, probably. Atom. Same thing. Look what just draw you a line across and see where that support just built. Okay, so you got some confluence there. Looks like it revisited that support low right there. Revisited support right there, right there. I mean, you're going to see this across the board, really. So same story for over the next day or two. A little bit consolidating. Monday, Tuesday, maybe we'll maybe catch some bounces. This one might not be much of a bounce. I'd like to see this one a little bit lower, about 4,400 or so, and then we'll catch 20% bounces. I mean, we're going to see almost identical moves across the whole board. I'm just hoping for a massive pump on KMD and ION, though. Please and thank you. Okay, Bing Bong. Okay, so I mentioned in chat that we can also do like a copy trade on USD pairs on Bing Bong. And they've already got like this built-in copy trade thing. So you guys, and I think the way that it works on exchanges is they send you a notification to your phone or something for whatever trader it is that you're following. So though we have the copy trade here in Discord for you guys to follow on altcoins, whether if it's Bitcoin pair, dollar pair, or whatever, Bing Bong or some of these exchanges already have a very similar feature. So we can do this because I got a little bit of money over here on this exchange. So we can also do a copy trade on Bing Bong, and I'll figure out how it works because I mean you can go to this copy trade tab, and it looks like it's just got some traders that are already playing on this exchange, and I guess you can just hit follow something. All traders. I'll have to figure out how this works. So I think you can just hit the follow button, and I know a lot of exchanges they'll send like a text message notification to your phone that'll say, well, I can't read any of these people's names. How about this guy, Return of the King? That's English. Okay, so it'll send you a text message that says Return of the King bought, I don't know, ETC USD at $2 or whatever the price may be or something. So yeah, and then I think you can reply to the text message because I think it'll give you an option, yes or no, that if you want to copy that trade. So if Return of the King, for example, whoever that dude is, if he opens a long on something, it'll send you a message that says Return of the King opens long on blah 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 whatever. Do you wish to open the same trade? And then you can reply yes or no or something, and then the exchange I think will automatically perform that trade for you. So it'll automatically open that trade for you. Don't quote me on that. I had an exchange last year reach out to me about copy trade and said that that's how they do it on theirs. I don't know if it's going to be the same here for Bing Bong or not. I mean, it's a pretty decent exchange so far. I haven't had any troubles out of it. I mean, it's pretty good. It's got some good contracts, good assets to play. So you got inverse contracts, USD contracts. You even got DOT on here, and of course Link, and then you even got some indices. Okay, some commodities, gold, silver, and oil, and even some forex. So it's got quite a few assets to play. So this is something we can keep in mind for a copy trade thing too. And again, I'll figure out how this works. Since I got some money on there, we can play that too, as well as the copy trade for our Discord server. So we'll roll with that too. So this is really kind of what I'm seeing across the board for alts and for Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't think we're quite out of the woods yet. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable probably, I don't know, another day or two. I don't think that this is quite ready. This hasn't built enough base for me to be confident. Plus, look at that 7-day right there. It's still pointing in a downtrend, so it hasn't rolled up. So I'm not fully confident just yet in pulling along on Bitcoin. I think it may come back down to 1050, maybe 10,100 or so, and then maybe catch another higher low or something right there, some more support. So I'm not quite sold on a long yet there. This one is hurting. I really need this one to do something. And again, same thing with Ion. Look at the 7-day. Hasn't rolled up. And so this is what I mean. So this is roughly about where we are for Ion, for example, and most alts. So if this were to copy, it might do something like that. Okay, so this wick is setting that that support base, that support low, and then it might kind of just bounce around over the next day or two, a few days or whatever, and revisit that low wick before catching that pop. Something to that nature. To get into the Discord server, I mean, you'd have to be a member. You can DM me on Twitter. If you follow on Twitter, or you can DM enter private Discord or enter public Discord or something, and we can work that out and get you fixed up and whatnot. So this is what I see, guys. I'm not pulling the trigger on any trades yet. I'm not sold on any long positions right now. I'm really just kind of clinging on to prayers that my bags don't wreck me right now. So I'm not adding to any positions. I'm not opening new positions. Not quite yet. I'm probably going to be looking at a long to maybe kind of scalp some of this Bitcoin up to about 10.8 to 11.2. But again, I'm not sold on it. And of course, any USD pairs. I think EOS looks pretty good. Still kind of bouncing around there. This is an old chart there. Yeah, maybe not. EOS looks like crap too. Had a good promising daily candle before Bitcoin screwed it up. But some good low time frame scalps for 10x, 20x leverage or whatever we can probably try to play. So that's it, guys. If there's no more requests, I'm not advising jumping in anything. I wouldn't buy anything just yet. I'd give it another day or so before we start trying to scalp something. So if you got any questions or whatever, hit me up in Discord, and we can look at some requests or whatnot. But this is pretty much going to be across the board. I think we're going to, I think alts are going to find some midterm support before catching some relief bounces, as I think they're all still kind of spooked by Bitcoin. But I mean, Bitcoin just looks godly horrible on the weekly. I really don't like this. ONT. I'll get you the Discord name. Right. Well, I mean, we're already here. Well, shit. There, right there. Crypto Warrior US. That used to be a flag for the US flag. So you can hit me up that way. We can get you set up, or you can go to my Twitter here. Okay, at cryptowarrior.01, and you can DM me there as well, and we can chat to maybe get you at least a trial run to come check out our family and whatever to see what we're about. So you can hit me up there too if you can't find me on Discord. Okay, for ONT, okay, you see that wick right there? Those little nice little wicks right there. That's where I got wrecked. Okay, because I had lowered my stops to just under this support because I was banking on a support right here to build and to form, and I got wrecked on a wick. So that took me for about 11 grand right there, and now it actually looks pretty decent. It doesn't look bad. That was a big wick though, and that was a monster bounce. I mean, that's already bounced, from to that high up there, almost 30%, but it's now sitting above 20% on that bottom, on that low right there. On the Discord, what was the number on the Discord? I'm having a brain fart here. Where do I find the number on that's attached to my name right there? Oh, there it is. 3864. See, there's the American flag. So that's how you can find me right there. I'll leave that up here for a few seconds so you can copy that. 3864. Okay, so ONT, God, what a nightmare that was. I was really hoping that support was going to hold right there. However, wicked almost all the way down to the lows. So again, it flipped the all-time lows, or did not break into a new lower all-time low. So it almost revisited that wick, maybe just a little bit more. But the fact that it did not revisit all-time lows or make an all-time low is still bullish. So this is what I now expect for ONT. See, the 7-day on the daily is still in a downtrend. So again, if this is going to hold, it may kind of mirror this right here and then catch that last pump up. They got some big news out with Polkadot and I think some other something. I think Binance even also for smart chains. So ONT has the fundamentals. I just got wrecked on a nasty wick. I think ONT is really kind of stepping up and could be a believable long-term project. So this, again, very well could consolidate here until probably right after the elections or something and catch a next leg up for a pump. But I don't see any altcoins pumping for quite some time. Maybe except KND, because KMD has probably one of the stronger structures of altcoins right now. So I'm hoping to revenge trade on ONT. So if it's going to build a new support and reconsolidate down here, I'm hoping it does so over the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks or so, to give Bitcoin time to finish doing its stupid crap. So I can jump back in there before the next big announcement or whatever on ONT. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got. Yeah, exactly. Like it did with Mana, and that was my hope, because Mana did that exact failed pump, came back down and consolidated, then caught like 180% pump or something. So it still may be possible even for Ion and KMD, even maybe a few other altcoins that did not see these big pumps like ICX and Mana did. So before Bitcoin shits the bed again, I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, pump it, and then on the next weekly candle when Bitcoin dies again, now it gives an excuse to drop the coin again. Maybe not that high. Maybe I'll take the 1800s. I'll take up here, and then on the next Bitcoin drop, dump it, and then pick it back up down here, if that happens. So I'm not picking up anything. I'm really just kind to pray that the rest of my bags don't wreck me. At the same time, I'm going to take advantage of Bing Bong, since I got about $3,600 over here, and we can scalp some US dollar pairs, probably starting tomorrow, because again, I don't see a whole lot of confidence in them right now. I mean, even EDC here, EDC looks like it's about to make another little drop there, which is fine. I'll take a 4% drop on EDC on a short, get you a good 40% profit on a 10x leverage, and then hop out for a scalp. Okay, so that's it, guys. So if you guys need me, just tag me in chat. I'll probably just chill the rest of the evening, because I just don't see anything worth jumping into right now. Everything still looks kind of rocky and scary. All right, I'm done.